I was talking to my friend today about black holes, and he told me that black holes actually, like, the closer you get to them, the slower that time gets. And I was like, that makes no. So, how do they know that that's the case? You know what I mean? How do they know that? Who ran that test? What was the experiment? Was it like you just ship an apple off towards a black hole and when it comes back, you're like, oh, observe there's no soft spots on this apple. It's how do you know? How do you know? Or it was either that or it was like one guy was just like they'll never, who's going to check? You know what I mean? Let's just say some shit. No one's ever going to double check that. They're going to take that for a fact. Who could even double check that? Like the guys who work next door. It's not even that bad. I think it's going to be fine. So I'm pretty sure that's what they did. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. Makes no sense at all. Let's start the show. Welcome back to Pat on the Back. I'm your host, Pat O'Connor, and it is Tuesday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I know that's not when this comes out, but that is when we are recording it. Just like every week, it is on Tuesday, and this week just so happens to be on the greatest green holiday of all time. Now, I'm usually someone who would be going out or hitting a parade or something. Every year, my sister goes up to Boston and she goes to the Boston St. Patrick's Day parade, which I don't know why. I'm not a schedule guru type of guy, but for whatever reason, the St. Patrick's Day parades happen the weekend before St. Patrick's Day. Or I don't know if that's just the past couple years, it seems, because that's like when it's going on, they're like, oh, we'll just go with the closest day. And it's like, well, it's before. And then if it was on a Thursday or Friday, maybe they would do the St. Patrick's Day parade the weekend after. I don't know what the cutoff is. Like, I don't know how they decide those scheduling things. But like last year, I went to the Newport St. Patrick's Day parade in Newport, Rhode Island. It was a ton of fun. Handful of us comedians got together. We went up there, got there maybe like 11:30, noon. Maybe that might be a little late in the day to be showing up, but that's when we did. And we just spent all the next, not as long as I thought, if I'm being honest. When I got up there, I was like, oh, this is going to be a long day of just, having Guinness and talking to girls in green and joking around with the boys, and it's going to be a good time. And, we met some college kids. There's a lot of college kids up in that area at the time, Me and my friends are not college age anymore. Last year, I was 27 when we went. We're just outside, but I talked to a lot of college, a lot of young college boys up there. We were joking around with them, having a good time. They were great. Talked to some beautiful young women that were there. My buddy Tommy, who went, has a weird approach with the ladies. Went up to our second bar and we were walking outside. I was walking behind him. We're on our way outside. There's a young lady sitting by the door at a table talking with her friends. He walks by and this is all he said. He goes, nice sunglasses. Don't be mad about it. And I just breezed right by him. I'm not going to be part of whatever that weird altercation was going to turn into. That's just very strange to me. And he was the second person in line. It's a one person through the door type of deal. So Rudy goes through, Tommy talks to this lady. I walk past Tommy and Breck follows me out. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? Why would you do that? Then he got into a fight a couple hours later with some young lady yelling about a sweater. He was like, I like your sweater. And then she got pissed at him for some reason I don't understand. She had a friend who had a weird nose, a little bit, like kind of pushed up a little bit. It didn't look bad. It was just different. You know what I mean? I don't know, with that ethnic background or national or surgery gets done to have that done. I look like a fucking porcelain doll. This is crazy. Hang on a sec. This is nuts. Look how fucking white I look. That's absurd. Let me try it, see if I can adjust some lighting here. Make this any better. Made it way worse. That's wild. Still worse. Let's get some darker colors, maybe. That's not bad. We might be able to work with that. That was fucking, it's bright again. There's no winning, man. Whatever. We'll just ignore the light for now. That's fine. I need some filler for this episode anyway, so that's good. That worked out that way. It's the underarms. It's right there. I'm fucking pasty as hell. All this white shit that I've got sitting on the table. God damn, I'll have to put out a tablecloth or something next time. Anyway, so we follow Tommy. Yeah, he's chatting up with these girls who he just gets into a fight with for the next, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. No one else even knows how it started. I was waiting in line for the porta potty for 25 minutes, and when I came back, this was going on. I don't know what happened. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And we tried to solve the problem. No success there. Because why would there be, you know? And so eventually I go inside, because we all kind of split up at the same bar, you know? So we go inside, or at least I go inside, and I order another beer at the bar. It's not as busy. So I'm like, oh, thank God. You know, most people made their way outside at this point. And I see that group of girls. I just walk out. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. You know, I don't know what that was about. I don't know why he got on your nerves so much, but he did. My apologies. And he goes, the lady goes like, oh yeah, you're fine. You're like, you're cool, but your friend fucking sucks. And I was like, yeah, he does. He fucking sucks. You're way hotter than he is. So I'm going to immediately fold and be on your side. That's just how this goes. And I'm chatting up with the friend with the weird nose who, cute. She was cute. But we'll never know how that story ends, because I was like, hey, I have to go check out, like, find my friends, but I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. Go and find them. I talked to my other friend. She had come out to hang out with her boyfriend and their buddies, and the whole group of them. So I'm hanging out with them a little bit. And I don't even know where I left off. I just had to make a fucking crazy ass cut. The cat jumped and knocked something over. I'm back to looking like back to. Never stopped looking like a ghost, if we're being honest. Anyway, guys. So St. Paddy's Day last year. And, you know, I go back out, I catch up with the boys, and they're like, you know what, we're hungry. Let's go grab a bite. I'm like, you know what, fine. I'll go get something to eat with you guys. Whatever. All good. So we go, we get something to eat, and they're like, all right, like, I need some more cigarettes. All right, let's walk down the street. We'll get some more cigarettes. And they're like, I kind of want to smoke some weed. So do you guys just want to head back now and we'll come back out later? And I was like, there's not a chance we come back out later. I was like, you want to go fucking take a chill pill? It was 5 p.m. I was like, you guys want to stop doing St. Paddy's Day at 5 p.m.? That's the young move that we're rolling with. Here's the thing. I didn't get the one girl's phone number because I was like, surely I'll either see them again or there will be more opportunities. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. This isn't going to be it for the St. Patrick's Day festivities. There's going to be more going on. So we go back. One dude gets way too high. The other dude just wants to watch hockey. Game starts at 7. So he's waiting for the hockey game to come on. And what does he do? He turns on Conor McGregor rerun fights on YouTube, just old fights, and they were all the worst fights I've ever seen. Someone lost immediately in every single. He turned on fucking 6 of them, and they were all done in like the first round. I was like, this fucking sucks, dude. Why would we even do this? This is terrible. Like, this is the worst way that this could have gone. This what a total laughable. I made it home at 10:30. I lived an hour away. Had to take a half-hour ride to my buddy's house to get my car, and then took an hour ride home. I was home at 10:30 on a Saturday night celebrating St. Patrick's Day. because the boys let me down. It was disastrous. It was a Sarge. I couldn't even come straight home. I think I got Burger King and I parked in a parking lot, like an empty parking lot outside the grocery store, and I was just like, dude, what the fuck was that? What a waste of time that was. Like, yeah, we got some laughs, but what kind of sorry sacks were we wrapping it up at fucking 8 p.m., 7 p.m., if you want to say when the game started? That's when I knew we definitely weren't going out. And 5 p.m. when we made it back to my buddy's house, I was like, come on, dude. This is ridiculous. What a sorry outing for the boys last year. And what did we do to follow it up this year? I said, "Hey, yo, are we going to Newport?" And they were like, wasn't planning on it. Bunch of losers they were, and I don't care if they hear it, know about it, whatever. Bunch of fucking nerds. Didn't want and they were like, "Oh, it might rain." I'm like, "Oh, no, hot, wet college girls. What a problem that is to have. Fucking idiots." So I got back last year and I was in St. Paddy's Day rolled around on Monday night. I was like, I gotta do fucking something. I gotta try and salvage this weekend. Make it good. So lo and behold, my brother and my sister come through and they're like, you know what? Let's go out. Let's have a good time. Nothing crazy. We'll go. There's an Irish pub. Fucking 15 minutes from here. We'll hang out there, eat some dinner, have a couple drinks, and head home. So we get there. Come to find, they're trying to do karaoke at an Irish pub on St. Paddy's Day, the day of. Don't hate it, but it's a Monday night. Things are going against you. So we get in there and it's a little dead, you know. The karaoke guy who runs it, he's trying to get it going a little bit, trying to get the place to have some fun, but there's just no life to the party. And I was like, you know what? I had one beer and we're gonna have to get in there and sing Pink Pony Club, just by Chapel Roan, and just I brought the house down, if I'm being honest. Tried to make my sister sing it alone, she wouldn't do it, so I sang it along with her, and I crushed it. I got the audience into it. People were grabbing the mic out of my hand to sing along. I was sweating. It was a 3-minute song. I was sweating at the end of it. I was putting in the work, and then I got a free beer for it. It's fucking sick, dude. That's the kind of thing that's supposed to happen on St. Patrick's Day. Not fucking, I got too high, and so I just watched Conor McGregor fights on YouTube. Fuck off, dude. Fuck, I'll have you guys know. I don't think they listen to the show, but I'll tell you this. My friends, 27, 32. I think the youngest guy there was 24, 25. You got showed up by a 21-year-old girl who's hanging out with her brothers. So good job, you fucking losers, dude. Now, I gotta own something a little bit. This is what I was talking about on last week's episode, the problem with free agency, okay? I recorded this episode. I record on Tuesdays. So I record, finalize, finish editing, post it. Oh, this is gonna post on Friday. Perfect. Job well done. And then I get an alert the moment I click to post and it says, "Oh, the Max Crosby trade fell through with the Ravens. Not gonna happen now." And it's like, dude, are you fucking kidding? I was like, I'm not gonna re-record an entire episode just to talk, or whatever the fuck. I'm not gonna do a whole new segment. None of that shit. Okay, because this is what I'm talking about. Things change so drastically that you can't keep up. And it's because of a failed physical from Max Crosby. Like, dude, that's the last thing I would have guessed to have caused this problem by far. Not even close, dude. It's like, yo, what the fuck was that? Like, and then what has happened since then? And like, I think the Ravens signed, fucking the guy from Cleveland whose name escapes me at the moment. I'm not an expert. And the Bills signed Bradley Chubb. I don't even know what else fucking notable happened, dude. Like, and that's what sucks, like I said, about free agency. It's the first 48 hours is when all the interesting shit happens, and then it's like, "Oh, whatever. We're just worrying about signing backups, I guess." Like, it's boring as fuck, dude. It's cool for 2 days, and then it's boring as fuck, and then we're gonna wait, like, what, a month and have the NFL draft, and that'll be kind of entertaining, and then it's gonna be OTAs and training camp, and who cares? And it's all gonna be boring, and we're all gonna be waiting until that first game where we get to see some actual fucking football and have some actual fucking fun, but you gotta wait for it to come around, and that fucking is it just sucks, dude. It fucking sucks. Like, what the hell, man? I just wanna watch some ball, brother. That's all I wish it was like baseball or basketball. Like, I understand why it can't be because the physical demands of football are so long. That's why I'm like, dude, I need something. I need something to sink my teeth into, dude. And I think it's gonna be baseball. I think I'm gonna try and get into baseball, go to a couple games this year or something. I don't know. But I heard that what's his name? The star outfielder, the young boy on the Red Sox, Jared Duran, I think his name is. I saw a clip, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago, where he was getting heckled by some fan, and then he called that fan the F with 2 G's word, and I was like, "Damn, might have to get into baseball, dude." It was that or hockey. Honestly, it was that or hockey because hockey seems I don't know if I like the way they talk, I think is a big part of what it is. I like the way they talk, and by default, I just say that I'm a Buffalo Sabres fan because I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so it's like I don't think about it that much, and I have no stake in hockey, so what does it matter which one I'm a fan of, you know what I mean? That's the thought process I put behind it, but now those Sabres are good, and it's like, "Fuck, dude," the moment I'm trying to become a fan of a team, they just go ahead and get good immediately, so I look like a bandwagon dude, and I'm not a bandwagon dude. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so I'm a Buffalo Sabres fan. I know one player on the team. I think it might be one of the only hockey players that I know Connor McDavid because he's the best, and I know Tage Thompson because he's on the Sabres, and I bet on him one time. Yeah, so it'll be fun. I'm gonna get into baseball. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna watch some Red Sox and maybe we'll make it out to a couple games. The crazy part about baseball is that it's so fucking cheap. You can get into a game for like $20 or whatever the fuck. Like, grab a hot dog and go to town, dude. I'm gonna try and get in on one of these like Saturday games. Maybe do the 999 challenge. That's gonna be fucking sick. But we'll see. I don't know. But it's just so stale. Doing a solo football show when there's borderline no football going on, and the current way that I post just doesn't work at all for football news. So it's like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll see what happens. We'll come up with something. So I started watching. I started watching. I watched in its entirety to completion. I watched the shit out of that movie Warfare. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's fucking awesome. I thought it was so cool. It's the most accurate depiction of what combat looks like when you're in the ground. There's nothing Hollywood about it. There's no fucking sick music. There's no ramp up. There's no character development or anything. It's just this is what happened. And I didn't know this, but it's a movie I knew it was based on a true story. I didn't know it was based on like the memories of the people who actually went through it. I thought that was a crazy interesting way to tell the whole story. I thought that was so fucking cool. And my biggest takeaway from watching that movie was that there is no way that my body will hold up now to any degree of combat like that. And I say that at 28 years old. When I was in the military, I was like, "Oh, dude, nothing hurts. I'm good to go all the time. 100% fine." no issues, never go to sick call. I've never I wouldn't say never failed a PT test. You know, I'm a bigger dude. Running is not my strong suit, okay? But I was good at the fighting shit. And man, once you slow down from doing that kind of physical activity, the ailments that you've actually been dealing with catch up astronomically fast. And I've always been of the opinion where, you know, if we went to war, I wouldn't like volunteer right away because I've done my time. But if we were staring down the barrel of a draft, I might sign up before there was a draft. I know what I'm doing. I need a refresher. You draft someone who doesn't want to be there. Some 18-year-old kid doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Gonna be a little bit harder for them to get up to snuff, which puts them in danger, puts other people in danger. But I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna do a better job out of the gate. I now at 28, which is supposed to be my physical prime, 28 years old, I'm coming to the realization I may be aging out of that option. I may be getting to the point where it doesn't matter how many weights I lift, I don't keep up the intensity on a regular basis enough to not feel the effects of a 12-mile ruck march, a full combat load sprinting across an alleyway while you're getting shot at. I don't know if my knees will hold up to that anymore. Sometimes they just hurt. I was watching TV the other day and then my knees started to hurt. I don't think I can start sprinting and dragging bodies at this point on what is supposed to be the prime of my life. And it was such a knockdown realization. I was watching the movie Warfare and I was like, holy shit, this is fucking intense. And then I got a shooting pain in my knee and I was like, oh my God, I might have to pause the movie. And I was sitting there with my feet up. I could not have been under less distress. Okay. But like up until last week, this past, what was that, Saturday, Sunday, whatever it was, at no point was I like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have issues, rolling into a combat situation or getting back up to snuff at the very least. Maybe I'm not in combat shape, but the brain is there. The body is not, dude. And it's fucking brutal to have that realization because you meet a lot of veterans and people who get out, they end up looking like fat shits because they're just like, I'm just done. Like, I don't have to do this anymore. And I'm not going to put my body through it anymore. And I'm like, I totally respect that, understand where you're coming from, and I don't blame you at all. But I was working out before I was in the military. I work out now. I'm not in that great a shape, but I get in the gym, 5, 6 days a week and I sweat and I'm moving around and I'm not moving around enough. I get grumpy now when I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work and I don't do shit at work all day. I stand around most of the day and I'm like, holy fuck, this is hard. My knees hurt, my feet hurt. It's starting to creep into my ankles and I'm grumpy because I got up too early. If I had to go back into a military situation right now, I'd be the grumpiest gunner you've ever seen. Just upset while also laying waste to people. It would be catastrophic for me to be in that situation. Would not be good for me at all. But the movie was sick. Warfare was fucking sick. And I was like, you know what? This is so cool. It reminds me of back when I used to watch all that, like that military stuff. And then I remember the show Band of Brothers. And I hadn't seen that since I was in high school, So I was like, oh, let me check that out. I remember that being good. I just never rewatched it. Watched it once. So I was like, you know what? Let me stop. I'm gonna start watching that. I make it through 4 episodes, 5 episodes maybe. I don't remember how much I've watched. I fucking don't remember. Went to the gym, came home, and HBO wasn't working. Now, that's my brother's file. He changed his backup cards, and he just didn't up. He was like, "I'm gonna let everything run its course, and then once it expires, I'm gonna re-up it." I was like, "Okay, fine. You do you. Your money, your plan. I'm getting it for free. I appreciate you. So then I had to find something else to watch, though, because he just wasn't around to renew it. And I started watching the live action One Piece show. Now, I'm not an anime fan by any means. I grew out of cartoons early on. I like it, dude. Once I found out about Nick at Night or the King of Queens, I was fucking all over that at like 10 years old. Became a big sitcom guy. Love live action stuff. Just wasn't really a cartoon guy, whether it was anime, American, whatever the fuck. I don't know what the different categories of shit are, but just wasn't a big cartoon guy. So it is what it is. But then I was like, you know what? This One Piece show, like the anime ran for so long and I just didn't watch it. Let me see what's going on with the TV show. You know, let me check it out. The live action, maybe I can get more into it. At the very least, I'll be able to talk a little bit. Like, I've got buddies who watch anime. You know what I mean? I've got coworkers who watch it. Maybe it'll at least give me something to talk about at work or kill some time or whatever. And, you know, so they've got this guy on there. His name is Zoro. He's the world's greatest swordsman. Feels a little on the nose, but hey, you know what? He's got cool action scenes. Totally fine. Totally fine. Then they've got the world's best navigator, played by Emily Rudd, who's not related to Paul Rudd at all. But what? Hey, fine. You know what? She's good in it. She's hot. Fine. Whatever. And she is actually good in the show. She seems like to be a decent actress. Credit where it's due. And then they've got the world's greatest sharpshooter. And I'm like, this is all one crew. You got all one crew. You just happen to stumble into all the best people. Because then not only do you have the world's greatest cook, but he is also the world's greatest person at kicking stuff. He doesn't throw a punch the entire show. I haven't seen the whole thing yet. He only kicks things, people, whatever. He got into a fight with a fucking cat in the show, a regular sized cat. I mean, it was like an animated, combat cat, but he was trying to kick a cat. He's doing all the same regular. It's so preposterous and ridiculous that I'm like, what the are you really, we're doing this right now? And to tie it all off, the main protagonist, the captain of the crew, the lead man is the most infuriating protagonist I've ever seen. Everything he says annoys the fuck out of me. It's stupid. Like, oh, you got to name your finishing moves, and I get mad because you insulted my friends, and I'm like, dude, you are so annoying that I texted my buddies about it. I was like, have you seen this show? And one of them was like, yeah, what's up? And I was like, this guy fucking sucks. And they're like, you just actually are being super hateful right now because that's how all anime characters are. They're a little over the top and silly and goofy. And you're just into all this Americanized stuff that you just don't like. And so you're hating on Japanimation. And I'm like, okay, that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is being annoyed by a real person saying real stuff. I'm not watching a cartoon right now. I'm watching the live action show. And I think is that we could have dumbed it down just a little. Just a little. You know what I mean? That being said, I think I'm about to finish season 2, and there's only 2 seasons out. Like, I can't stop watching it. It seems, I don't know if I like it or if I'm just, committed to finishing things. But I don't know. I don't even know if it's good. I don't even know if I like it. The action scenes are cool, and I'm watching the whole thing. I've backed it up and restarted episodes, and I was like, what did I miss? What's going on here? And it's a totally preposterous show. Nothing about it makes sense. It's so over the top and campy and just the dumbest shit that happens. And I apparently cannot get enough of it. Didn't see that coming. Am I going to watch the anime? Probably not. Am I going to watch any animes? Probably not. Am I probably going to watch this next season that comes out, season 3? Yes. I also looked up how long it's supposed to run because the animated show ran for so long. And they're like, "Well, the writers don't have it confirmed, but they're planning on a 12-season arc." I'm like, "Oh, that's the whole show. We're gonna have to watch the whole show." And I can already tell them, dude, if it ran for 12 seasons, I'm going to watch all 12 seasons. And I'm telling you, I don't know if I like the show or not. I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. I can't figure it out. I don't know. Don't know why I keep going with it, but we're gonna watch the whole thing. It seems that's how it's gonna go. We're gonna watch the entirety of a live action anime TV show that I really don't have any interest in. And that's just how it's gonna have to be apparently. But it is what it is. But let's circle back a little bit. Okay, Friday night. I know the timeline on this show gets a little jumbled. Friday night, I was supposed to catch up with some old friends, go to a farewell party, and those plans kind of fell through. Things didn't go the way that we thought they would. Totally fine. So I'm like, you know what? Instead of doing something crazy that or just kind of like loser stuff a little bit, where I'm like just gonna go home and do nothing. I was like, I'm gonna go to the bar. I'm gonna hang out with my friends, have a couple of drinks, maybe do some stand up, and then we'll come home. A normal Friday night. Normal Friday night for me getting home is like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. You know what I mean? Is that great? No. But I go out once a week and I make it count at 28 years old as a single guy who lives at home. I fucking make it work. All right. So I go out. Night does not go the way you would think. I'm talking with a couple of women. They were friends. So that's why I was talking to a couple of them. And they're like, I live just down the road. Just like, I think it was like maybe a mile away, if that. It's a 3-minute drive. Why don't you come over and we're gonna play Boggle on Netflix? Netflix Boggle, you put it on your phone. I was like, "Oh, I'm not very good at Boggle, but I can read a hidden message or two. You know what I mean? I'll see what's going on. I was out late. Why not give it a shot?" You know what I mean? So I drive over there. We're hanging out, and we're playing a couple games of Boggle, and that goes on for a couple hours, and one of the girls orders a ton of McDonald's DoorDash. Couldn't get any burgers. Wasn't really particularly hungry, but she ordered, I don't know, 8 containers of chicken nuggets. Not not 6 pieces. She ordered 8 20-piece chicken nuggets for, I think there was 4 of us there. That's insane. Because she also ordered, like, 3 chicken sandwiches and 2 snack wraps and just all this McDonald's, and I was like, "Dude, what the fuck? This is crazy." So she gets all that, and we're playing ball, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm done. My eyes are fried. Cannot look at this TV screen anymore." And it is 3:30 in the morning. I'm fucking done. I've been in your house for 2.5 hours, and we've done nothing but eat McDonald's and play Boggle. And she goes, "Oh, yeah, like, I invited you over to play Boggle. This is what we do on Friday nights. We go to the bar, and then we come home, we play Boggle until, there's only one person who doesn't quit." And I was like, "This is what you do? Every Friday, this is what you do? That's crazy." And also, "You're telling me there was no hidden message?" She was like, "There's none. I literally meant come over and play Boggle. I meant nothing by anything else." And I was like, "This was a total mistake." Okay, because this really sucked. My buddy was there, and he was playing Boggle, and I was like, "Dude, I'm getting out of here. It's 4 AM. I'm fucking out of here. I'm done. I gotta go home. It takes me an hour to get home. I gotta go home. I'm so tired." So we get up as soon as the front door closes. He leans over to me, he goes, "We're never doing this again." And I was like, "Dude, I agree. There's not a chance I do this again." I mean, it was fun. It was like, I've got a story. Got a hell of a story. which seems to happen to me a decent amount. I seem to gather stories with very anticlimactic, but, fucking shit in my face kind of endings, and that's fine with me. I like having stories. I like telling stories. Sometimes you wish some of them would work out, not the 4 AM Boggle girls, maybe that's not the one that you wanna work out, but hey, if I get rid of enough of those early on, eventually the numbers gotta get in my favor, and I'm gonna get some good ones. Like, that's just how that's gotta work, you know? So the last thing I'm gonna close on this because I just think it's a funny thing that goes on at work. I work with a guy. It's always a guy I work with. Those are the people I see them 40 hours a week. I see them more than anybody else. I work with a guy who he's like, I don't know, 65. He's about to retire. He's getting close. But I genuinely think that he may be addicted to scrap metal, which sounds dumb, but if you just spent a little time with him, you would completely agree that that is the case. He'll collect, he used to collect cans in bottles, and he would return those. He drives around outside of work and on the weekend, and he picks up washing machines that people left outside of their house, old water heaters, just whatever he can get his fucking hands on. One time I saw him, we collected a bunch of metal shavings. We were drilling a box out, drilling holes into a box. We put that metal box inside of a cardboard box, try and contain the mess a little bit, so it doesn't go all over the place. Doesn't work perfect, but it does a pretty decent job. So we drill the holes, and then he takes that box and goes, I'm taking this. It's a box full of brass shavings. Not even full, just like a thin, like little bit. I don't even know how to describe how much it was. It was nothing. And he goes, I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn this in. I was like, you do you, man. One time he found a box and there was a little piece, just like a 1 inch by 1 inch little piece of metal that was in there, thin as hell, just a little banding metal. And he fished it out of there. He fishes out, he grabs it, and he goes, "You see that?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "That's money." And I'm like, "You're insane, dude. That's a crazy fucking thing to do and be on the lookout like that intently and be like, this is money, dude." Like, you know how like when change falls on the ground, and people be like, "Ah, that was like 2 quarters and a nickel," like some idiot savants like that, dude. I'm telling you, you drop a piece of metal on the ground 30 yards away from him, he's gonna be like, "That's 45 cents in copper over there. I've gotta get my hands on that." He is all over it. I don't know why, don't know how he started down that path, but it's insanely entertaining, and it makes no sense to me whatsoever. I've got another guy that I work with. This is the last story. Now I'm going on a little tangent. This is the last story. I may have told this before, I don't remember. I work with a black guy, which that detail wouldn't matter, except it is the crux of this story. I would not bring it up, but it is the crux, the most important detail of this story, because he can get away with saying cool shit way cooler than anything I could ever get away with saying. Okay? He leans over one day. He's sitting at the picnic table with my sister, who is a girl, because she's my sister. A female supervisor's talking to him. He's like, you gotta do this, do this, do this. And she walks away. Now, this black guy, he's been in that company for like 25 years. So he's not that old, he's middle aged. He started right out of high school. He leans over to my sister, he goes, "Look, I don't listen to women." And I was like, "You just said that to a woman. That's the craziest thing you could have done." That was fucking crazy. He wears like shaded eye pro, a do-rag with a hard hat on. I'm like, "Dude, you're fucking, I'll never be that cool. Never be that cool in my life. I'm so fucking jealous, dude." But that's the show for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We're going to try and hammer out, if you watch the video on YouTube, we're going to try and hammer out some lighting fixes, some background fixes, shit like that. I'm hoping that the audio is better. We're making some adjustments there. Not really sure what went wrong last week. The microphone's kind of all over the place. We're trying a couple different setups, but we're going to figure that out. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did enjoy the show, go check out Rudy Tuesday, comedy podcast I do with Breck Michael and Rudy Marinosi. That comes out every Tuesday morning at 7. This show comes out every Friday morning at 7, posted on all platforms. Thank you guys so much, and we will catch you next week.